My friends, welcome back to the channel. First off, I want to start out by apologizing. I've been very under the weather here all day today, so if I cough once or twice in the video, I want to start out by saying I'm sorry. I know it's annoying. I promise you, I just can't help it. So let's jump into the video. Before we do that, you guys know the deal. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I am doing is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I always want you to do whatever is best for you, your portfolio, and your family. If you haven't already, please follow me on Twitter, Colin_Gladman. It's the easiest way to reach out to me if you want to send me a DM. Also, too, you can ask questions. I'll be posting intraday thoughts, charts, things of that nature. With having said all of that, let's jump into the chart. We're going to start by looking at AMC here, okay? So we're coming up to some very important moments here for AMC. Number one, we've got our uptrend that we've established. From right here, if the low on January the 5th, where we were like $1.98, this line connects to this uptrend right here perfectly, okay? So where we first met it on May the 12th, actually that's not true, May the 11th. And then it has been offering a upward support since then. Now, we are also struggling big time with 1450. I've talked a lot about this. I think we need a break and we need a hold of it. So not a, quick little intraday pop over 1450. I'd want at least a good solid 4-hour up to a daily candle close, then maybe a retest and then a push upward off of that. So if we're looking at it here, let me get to my little tool. So you guys all know the deal. Before the run-up in June, we were kicked off of it. Once back here in March, then once back here in May, before it finally broke through. And of course, we hit that all-time high on June 2nd. And then from right here, from January the 24th, all the way through through March the 11th. So for almost 2 months, essentially, it provided support before, of course, we had that quick little spring dip below, and then we ran to 34 where we all got halted and screwed and pissed off and everything like that. So it's no surprise that even after the fall from 34, then for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, so another week, it provided support whenever we fell from 34. So now, we've had a failed breakout. We've had another retest. Now we're on test number 3. We all know the deal, how much Amy likes her 4th retest. So I said earlier today, so once again, support here, support here, support here, support here, and now we've got resistance here and resistance here. So this is a very important area for AMC. I said on Twitter earlier today that overall AMC is looking more bullish than bearish to me. Come on. Now I want to delete. There we go. And there's a couple of reasons why. Obviously, number one, since we found our uptrend, we've constantly been moving upwards where we have our resistance. This is kind of forming an ascending triangle. Typically, this is a bullish pattern. You get up here till it starts to get tight, and then you have the push out, breakout from here. So there's lots of different things that can happen. Obviously, we could come back here. We could retest our trend line. We could just push right on through. So if we look at our overall, a little bit more macro fib, so where I'm going to go is I'm going to go from the May 12th low all the way up here to May 31st high. I said on Twitter earlier today that we really need to recapture this 382, so right around that 1376 range. We got really close there towards the end of the day, and then we had the pullback. So because it failed, then we could come down here and we could test that $13 range again. If that doesn't hold, then we could push down here to the 618. Now we've got some inflation numbers coming out tomorrow. They come out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, which is 7:30 my time, which is an hour before the market opens. If that's good and futures start ripping, then I think there's a very good chance that we could see AMC push on up. If the market doesn't like the numbers and the futures start tanking, then we are definitely going to see a push down for AMC. It already had a little bit more of a push down in after hours today. I was a little surprised Yeah, it dropped 20 cents in after hours today. So I was already a little surprised that it did that, basically 1.5%. But it's sitting right here about 1343, so almost even further rejection of where we're at. So if the market doesn't like the inflation numbers in the morning, and it even pushes down further, and we open it up around 1315, then we definitely want to see a bounce off the 0.5. If that breaks through, if the entire market is doing awful, then once again, then I think we'll push down here to the 618, right in that ballpark. But like I said, that's kind of. But even if that happens, the macro view to me on AMC is still more bullish than bearish, okay? And let me show you why. So once again, also mentioned on Twitter. So right here, we've got the 20-day EMA acted as support today, which once again is also where the golden pocket was at. But then the 50-day EMA acted as resistance. So so long as this doesn't push down here too far, so long as the 20-day EMA we can kind of keep curling up this way, then that is going to be bullish overall. On the 4-hour chart, we've got the 20 crossing over the 50-day. Once again, over in the big picture, very bullish. So also too, another thing that we really like to see is the 13 EMA crossed over on the 48. Now last time this happened, as others have pointed out already, is when we had a really big run up to 34. So last time it happened, we were like at 17, so we had a 100% run after that happened. Now, once again, that doesn't guarantee that that's what's going to happen now, but that is a good indication. I mean, you can see what happened once it crossed down, massive push down. So I mean, once again, getting a cross. Now, it's happened a couple of times before, when we were range bound up here in November, where it really didn't do much. But back here in August through September, once it crossed, we had I measured this earlier, I believe it was like a 40% run from the cross. Yep, 43% run. So this is typically a good indication of AMC's future. So only if we immediately, get another cross down, we have some awful days in the market, would I turn more bearish on AMC. If we're looking at it more intraday from the 15 minutes, so right there at the end of the day, we had a cross right there towards the end of the day. So long as we don't, gap down and immediately crosses back down, like I said, overall, I would be bullish on that. So the big watch is going to be, once again, recapturing that 382 and closing above it. Then once we do that, then we can start focusing once again on the that kind of 1460, 1450 range. Once we get past that, then overall, then the view turns very bullish at that point in time. Now, the only thing that makes me nervous is coming over here to SPY. SPY looks very weak to me. Okay. Apologies. It got rejected multiple times today off the 382. The volume is very weak on SPY. And so if those inflation numbers are not great, essentially SPY rolling over and coming down to at least 377, or even coming down here to 373 to this golden pocket area. If it got real bad, even a push all the way down and to the 786, back down to like the 368. On SPY, on the 1 hour, you did have a 1348 cross down, right here, right before market closed, and then you got a big red candle. It's just, if you look here on this push down and what's happening, by far and away the selling pressure and the selling volume is what is taking over on SPY. So you guys know the deal about how I feel on that. Now, like I said, AMC is holding up very well. I've told my Discord multiple times, I'm very happy with the strength that AMC is showing, which leads you to think that, even if the overall market starts doing worse, we may have seen AMC's bottom. Now, can it push lower? Of course, it can still push lower, but overall, we might have seen AMC's bottom, just because, the market is still kind of looking ugly, and for a while, AMC was really pushing down with it, and now it's kind of, it's really found this, sort of local bottom here. So long as this trend stays intact, this upwards push, even if we get rejected off of it a few more times, if it's not even in, till towards the end of July, that we break out of it, then that is going to be okay as far as I'm concerned. So big things that I'm watching on a more macro basis, and I'm watching here, a push over this 1450. Would really like to see big volume coming in whenever we do that, or so long as we stay above. Right now it's basically 1190, so long as we stay below 1450 and we stay above about $12 right now, and as you can see that's going to that number is going to constantly increase, then overall the picture is bullish. We go out here and we look at the Bollinger Bands, and the Bollinger Bands are getting very tight. Okay, when the Bollinger Bands excuse me, whenever the Bollinger Bands get really tight, this is indicative of low volatility. I said on Monday, this is why I called out the move in the pushback towards the 1290, 1277 area. As you can see, once it hit that moving average here in the Bollinger Bands, it had a nice bullish reaction and a push back up. So once again, showing strength. The RSIs on virtually all time frames have room to run. The RSI on the daily, just had a bounce off of 50, which is a bullish indication. If we come down here to the 4 hour, it is 4 hours sitting at 57 right now, kind of same thing. Nice little bounce. The 1 hour. So here's where I said, the 1 hour was getting overly cooked. It needed time to cool off, but it's kind of making this, rounded bottom here. So a move where, it's going to kind of slowly come back up here to retest, might even form a little bit of kind of a cup and handle before pushing back up. That type of move wouldn't surprise me at all. So overall, this is going to be what I'm looking for. We've got plenty of room to run if AMC decides to run. And look at this, this makes a lot of sense, because by the time we get right here, if we kind of finish out this bowl shape right here, then by the time we got back up to 1450, the 15-minute RSI would start getting a little bit hot. So then we would maybe push back down here to let the RSI cool off before starting to push out and up. So the more I look at this, that seems very plausible as far as where am I going to be looking. So overall market is going to matter. Hopefully we don't dip down too much in the morning. If we do, hopefully we're just catching a double bottom off the 0.5. If the 0.5 fails, we're going to be looking at the 618 level. But I would say I'm about 60-40 bullish. I think the bullish setup looks better than anything bearish, especially if we can get some decent news and data. So overall, that's what I'm going to be looking for, my friends. I apologize if this video was a little all over the place. Once again, been pounding the day quill all day, about to pound the night quill, so I can be up in the Discord first thing at market open. If the video is helpful to you, as always, please like and subscribe, comment, share it with your buddies, all that kind of stuff. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I hope you're killing it in the market, even though it's a tough market right now. I truly hope you're killing it, and let's have a wonderful Thursday. Let's see what happens. All right, y'all be good. I will see you tomorrow.